Okay, this is my review of the John Deere X330 lawnmower. I've had it for a full summer now. Mowed my grass plenty of times. I got about in between a quarter acre and a third of an acre, so it's not real big. It's not going to be under heavy use by no means. I decided to step up and get the X series above the D series for a few reasons, which I'll go over. It is a lot more quality, I think. I don't know how much longer it'll last, but there are some definite advantages to the X series. There is one in between the X and the D series, and that's the S240. And it does have some of the things from the D series and some of the things from the X series. So really, what you're getting is kind of a hybrid machine there. So, just getting a look at this. Everything works really well. I brought it home. I didn't have any issues. Very straightforward. It has a 42-inch deck. This deck's a little different than the D series in the way that it moves up and down, as well as the placement of the wheels there. It also has this clean out that you can see here. You attach a garden hose to that and it will spray underneath and help keep all of the grass and buildup from collecting underneath there, which, as everyone knows, that collects moisture and then it'll eventually rust that out. And this is steel, so it should last quite a while. I've seen people actually set those on the ground and just drive right over top of it, so it's very well made. Shouldn't have any issues with that. So that's one of the differences between the D series. One of the other things with the X series is to raise and lower that. It's actually handled with this pedal here. So if you push this pedal down, it will raise the deck up. Let me get on here and I'll show you. So by pushing this, you can see the deck move there. Zoom in a little bit. So that sets your ride height for your mow there. If you want to park it, you can lock it by lifting this lever. That locks your deck up in the up place. So if you need to stop mowing and go across the gravel driveway or somewhere, a flower bed or something, and get to your next section of grass, you can pull your deck up. To get that down, you simply just push on the pedal again and disengage that, let off the pedal, and it goes back down to its current height setting. And so while we're on the height settings, this here is actually how you set that. And I have mine set at about 3 1/4 inches, as you can tell from this dial. But all you do to change that would be simply just you hold the pressure off of it, like so. Turn this to whichever one you want to have it, and then let the pressure back off with your foot, and you're good to go. So that's different. The D series actually has a handle right here on the side that you pull and you stick it into a slot for 3 inches, or you pull back for 4 inches or whatnot. But you're manipulating the deck up and down with the handle here. So that is one of the key differences. Another key difference is the forward and reverse pedals. The X series has a forward and reverse pedal that's separate. The D series does not. So something you want to look at. The D series actually has like a little roller type of thing here you step on, and it's just not as easy. This is much more simple. Most people are going to be used to this a little bit better. This pedal here is your brake, and you have an e-brake. This is just like the deck, up and down. If you push this all the way in, you can pull your brake up and it'll lock on this lever here. That'll lock your brake, and then you simply step on the pedal again and push this down and it unlocks it. So that's how the brake works. This deck, when I purchased this, I purchased the mulching kit, which is what this is. It's a very simple install. It didn't come installed. There's only a couple of pieces. There is this bracket here that you see that you have to put on with a bolt and this handle and spring. And then underneath of here, you just have this metal door right here that closes, and that keeps all of the grass in there so it can be mulched. So if you were to leave this open, that's in mulching mode now, but if you were to leave this open and look underneath there, you can see now that the door is swung open over to here, and this is all open now. That would allow you to use a bagger or the chute itself. I mulch my yard. It's better for the grass. Helps to keep the soil moist. So as you can see, it's closed again. Very simple install. They threw it in with the tractor when I bought it. It didn't cost me anything, but I think they're like 200 bucks. So work a deal when you get it. They'll probably throw it in for you as well. Let's see. If we pop the hood on this, one of the other differences with the X330 is a Briggs & Stratton 20 horsepower engine. As you can see there, it's just about 724 cc's. It is not the typical Kawasaki engine you find in most John Deeres. If you look down here on the side, you'll see there's an oil filter here, very easy to get to. You'll see your fuel filter right next to it, also very easy to get to change and maintain. You have a spark plug here, and if you go around to the other side, you'll see your other spark plug here, and you'll notice your oil fill tube, and you have your oil drain. This just folds down. This is a rubber hose. It folds down so you can drain your oil into a pan right down here below, or whatever you want to put your used oil into. Makes it very simple to service this. Your air filter is underneath of this cover. And take these two wing nut things off. That pops out for your air filter. So as I was saying, it's very easy to service. It is the first John Deere with a Briggs & Stratton engine. I'm very happy about that. The other Briggs & Stratton engines I have ran flawlessly for years and years. I have a push mower that's over a decade now with a Briggs & Stratton. So this will serve my mowing needs for a very long time. Something else you'll see is the frame here. This frame, they talk a lot about the frame and how thick it is on the X series and how it's much more solid. So when I sat on this at the dealership and I sat on a D series, you could tell the difference. The plastic seemed to flex a little bit more. The whole machine just kind of wobbled a little bit when you got on it a little bit more. This seems much more rigid, much more stout. So it seemed better. They say it'll last a lot longer. This comes with a 3-year warranty, whereas the D series is only 1 year. It's got a pretty good sized battery. Nice placement there, easy to get to when you want to put your battery tender on there for storage. As I said in the beginning of this video, this is winter. It's after the first summer, so it's fall, I guess. But this has already been winterized and ready to park. So let's see, we have on controls. So here on the left side of the steering wheel, we have your throttle control, which is this one here. Typically you're going to run it in high for the most part, and when you're moving and the blades engaged, you definitely want to have it in high. Leave it in low when you're letting her cool down a little bit or getting her warmed up. Your choke, when you first start it, you're going to want to put the choke up, turn the key. It starts very quickly. There is no hesitation whatsoever, and as soon as it fires, let go of the choke. It automatically pulls itself down, unchokes, fires right up. It does not hesitate. It starts very quickly every time. This yellow button here, if you hold this down, it'll allow you to back up with the blades still running. As soon as you step on the reverse pedal, the blades disengage and stop running. It's a safety feature. So this, by holding this down before you step on the pedal, it'll keep the blades moving. As far as this other side of the steering wheel here, we have cruise control. So once you get going, if you got a big yard, you'd need that. I really don't need it in my yard. So, and this here is your blade engage. So when you are driving around and the mower's running, the blade's not actually spinning. So when you want to make the blade spin, you'd pull this up. and that would make the blade spin. It kicks that in. It's kind of like a PTO almost, but not the same, but similar principle. And when you want to disengage the blade, you push that down and it disengages the blade. And of course you have a steering wheel. Key on. When you turn it on, you have a display here. And as you can see, it's blinking fuel. I did run it out of fuel for the winter so that it didn't gum up the carburetor or anything. And along with fuel, make sure you're using ethanol-free fuel. The carburetors on the new engines they have very small jets, so they clog up very easily. So find some ethanol-free fuel. So you got a battery gauge on there, and then you have a throttle gauge, and of course the fuel there. I got 6.2 hours on this bad boy this summer. So like I said, I don't have a big yard to mow. Turn that back, one click back, and that activates the headlights. If we close the hood down here, you can see that you got some headlights. I guess that's for mowing in the dark, snow plow maybe, run into the mailbox. Who knows? You see crazy guys run into the store down the road on these things at times, so I guess they're there for a purpose. Go ahead and turn that off. Okay, so back here, you'll notice the seat. This is a mid-back seat. The D series, they have a very low back, and they kind of use that as a selling point, but honestly, I don't find myself leaning back into the seat very much. Most of the time when I'm driving it, I'm kind of sitting up and watching where I'm going. I don't know that I use the back of that seat a whole lot. I suppose it's there if needed, and it is a creature comfort. Something else on the X series gas tank, the filling spot is on the side. It's very big. It's very easy to get gas in. Almost impossible to miss. On the D series, it's underneath right here on the D series. So that's one more thing to consider. Not a huge deal, but it is something that's different. And you'll see here this wire. This is another safety feature. Basically, if you get off the seat, for any reason, it disengages your blades. So your blades will disengage. You saw the springs underneath there. That's for the spring ride. It does have a little bit of a cushion there. It does drive pretty well. A little bouncy over the rough stuff. Very rigid frame. Here we have the Transaxle, the transmission, so to say, of the lawn tractor here. It's a K46. It's definitely an upgrade from the standard one that comes on the D series tractors. But it's by no means a commercial grade Transaxle either. If you plan on doing a bunch of heavy hauling or lots of hills in your yard, or you're going to be mowing for extended periods of time throughout the year, you're probably going to want to look towards an upgrade there, or possibly move to a garden tractor. Here we have this lever, and if you pull this out, it allows you to push the mower. Essentially, it disengages the rear end and drivetrain so that it rolls freely with little effort. As you can see there, just barely pushing that. And then if you push this in like that, it engages all the drivetrain, and then it doesn't roll nearly as easy at that point because you're spinning and pushing the motor. That's something nice to get it around. It does have a hook for towing a cart. And really, that's about it. It's a great machine. It is quite a bit more money than the D series. Not sure yet if it's worth that, but there are definitely some features that separate it and differentiate it from the D series. Will it last longer? Will it be in better shape 5 years down the road? I mean, they say it's a lifetime mower. They told me I'll have this forever, so take care of it, change the oil. We'll see if it lasts a lifetime. There's my thoughts on the X330.